A Parable with an Ending by Matthew R. Moore. Go touch the fire of life. There once was a man who didn't feel well. He hadn't felt well in a long time. His village seer said to go touch the fire of life and it would help. The man returned to the village seer the next day and said, I touched the fire of life and it burnt me. It burnt so bad, it still hurts and it didn't help. In fact, I wish I hadn't touched that fire at all and only had the issues I first came to you with. The village seer said, I have a solution for you. Go touch the fire of life tonight. It is a new fire, because new fires are being made all the time, and it will bring you such warmth you will be relieved. Go touch the fire of life. The man returned the next day and said, I touched the new fire of life. It burnt me again. The village seer said, go touch the fire of life, and go touch the fire of life, and go touch the fire of life. Meanwhile, the man explored other options. The village exorcist said he wasn't possessed. The village lady of the night said he was beyond a kiss and a screw. The village muse said his darkness was too thick to walk through. The village farmer said he saw people drown in wells much shallower than his. They all heard about the fire of life, though, and suggested he go back to see the seer. Why is it called the fire of life? The man demanded eventually. He was scarred inside and out. He adjusted a fresh bandage on his hand, and he was missing a clump of hair by his left ear. He was having difficulty with his words, too, having been traumatized again and again. Go touch the fire of life, and we'll talk about it. It burns. It burns so often that when I scream, people shut their windows or look the other way. In fact, even the things I used to do, the things from which I derive value, I cannot even do them anymore. I'm alone and empty, and I feel nothing but the burns and the acute awareness that there used to be substance here. Go touch the fire of life twice tonight. The man returned. I can barely walk anymore with all these burn injuries. I can barely breathe. I'm so ugly. No one will talk to me because I'm a monster to our village. I fear I'm slipping away forever. The seer sneered. You obviously haven't been taking proper care of yourself, but I'm not here to help you with such superficial concerns. I'll help you get over this ledge, though. Go touch the fire of life 3 times tonight. Have you ever touched the fire of life? The village seer said, I have not, for I am the village seer. My wisdom and supreme efforts toward personal wellness renders the fire of life unnecessary for my being. However, I have read the literature about it from the people who bring the kindling. I have studied it for years. So go touch the fire of life. What if I don't want to? There has to be something else. The village seer pushed aside an unread book titled The Echoes of Religion and leaned forward and said, who wouldn't want to be better? Am I correct in assuming that you're a danger to yourself right now? It was a stormy night. The fire of life was smoking in the rain, but it was burning all the same. The man stood just beyond an arm's length away, feeling the heat over his body. The flames were as tall as his head. The night beyond was darker than anything he had ever experienced before. He jumped into the flames and felt the fire of life. When he screamed, no one heard him, but when he stopped screaming, the villagers said they were sad. They said they wished they could have done more. Afterward, when they saw one of their own not feeling well, they were filled with noble thoughts and recommended a person to the village seer so that they may touch the fire of life. Go touch the fire of life. The village seer hadn't noticed the man no longer coming to his hut for help. Instead, others filled the doorway. So many came, he had to build a second hut and train other seers. Although, if he were asked about the man who jumped into the fire of life, the village seer could look at his notes and see that the man had touched the fire of life on occasion, but he didn't do it exactly the way the seer wanted, or he didn't touch the fire of life long enough, or he didn't touch the right fire, or he listened to too many fishermen about the fire of life's side effects instead of submitting himself in ignorance, or he didn't take enough personal responsibility as he touched any fire. But someone did ask one day, who was that man? The village seer said, "You know, I can't remember what he looks like right now. I'm just so busy helping people it must have escaped my mind. But I admit, I didn't know much about him on a personal level, beyond how he went through some difficult times. I wish he would have taken better care of himself, though." Go touch the fire of life. There once was a man who didn't feel well. We can call him Ash.